Welcome back. Um, Glad you could tune in, check out with our progress. We've actually got quite a bit done, and I'm pretty excited to show you where we're at. First thing I want to show you is that if you can see, I got all of the grommets, all of the rubber grommets installed throughout the car. And so all the wire pass holes and so forth have got grommets where they're supposed to go. All except for in the very back, where there's a wire pass that goes to the engine compartment. That's the main wiring. There's a specialized grommet that goes back there. I haven't put that in yet because we'll do that later on at that time. So I learned from my mistake. Go ahead and get those in before we get ahead of ourselves. The next thing we got done was we got our battery tray installed, and we got a nice fit with that. It went in really smooth. It's riveted in. I guess there's about 10 rivets all together around the shoulder, the base, so forth. I test fitted a battery, so we're good. So we got that done. I wanted to show you that. I think it worked out really well. We got our drain hoses in the front there, you can see. I'm losing my light. Let's see if I can get over here. There. Yeah, I got those from Midwest Bayless. They are used, but they are in really good shape. And I cleaned them up and put some of that Eastwood plastic restorer on it, and they look like new. So happy with that. Got that done. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is, also I went ahead and got the weather stripping for the doors. I had one. I don't know why I didn't have the other, but I didn't. So now we've got both ready to go. So those will be for the doors when the time comes for that. I want to redo this battery tray top. I'm not really happy with that, the way it turned out looking. I think I'll have to blast it or take it down to bare metal. I believe there's a gasket that goes on this thing. I could be wrong on that, but I believe there's a gasket that goes on. It's a really tight fit with that battery. When I test fitted the battery, I was surprised at how close the terminals of the battery come to the top of that metal tray. And in fact, there's a piece of rubber that they've put on there that I guess just in case the battery gets jostled, it doesn't accidentally touch the frame there, the metal of the car. But anyway, so that we're good there. The other thing I did was, our wheels have been sitting around for a long time, and they were just rusting and rusting and rusting. I didn't like that. So I kind of switched gears and decided to go ahead and clean up the inside. The outsides were not too bad, the external, but the rims on the inside were pretty rusty. So I took quite a bit of time and wire wheeled those down, removed all the surface rust, cleaned them up, and then I used Pour 15 on them. I actually put 2 coats of Pour 15 on them, letting them set like a day or so before I repeated the coats and scuffed between them. Let that set for a couple of days, scuffed it up, and then treated it with rubber undercoating. And I'll show you what I used. I used this Rust-Oleum truck bed liner, and I really like it. It worked. I think it did a good job. And I put, I think, 2 coats of it on each one of them, and giving each coat a day to dry before running over it with a Scotch-Brite and then putting another one on there. So I might use that on the control arms too. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that, but we'll see. We got time on that. Big thing we got done was got all of our front end on. You can see, ta-da. We've got the brake rotor, the bearings, the calipers, everything is back on. Let's see if I can get a shot up in here. If you can see, shocks, everything is back on now. The spindles, connecting rod. I did not get the tie rod ends on yet. The tie rods are not on yet because I think the car needs to be down on the ground for that. one thing I will say, in order to get this properly on, you had to load the car down. I think the manual says the weight of 2 full adults or something like that. So we had about, I don't know, about 380 pounds loaded into the car and the trunk and into the interior to get the spring preloaded. And we had a little bit of trouble on the passenger side lining up the sway bar links. Let's see if I can get in here and show you that. But we got that straightened out. I don't know if we can see that on this or not. But we got all that hooked up and everything turned out good. So I should have really gone ahead and put the tie rods in while I had the car loaded, and I wasn't thinking, so it just needs to be back down on the ground really. I did go ahead and just temporarily put the steering wheel back into place so that I could make sure everything was centered. So none of the linkages are actually torqued right now. They're just in place. All that'll be done when it's on the ground. So it's the other thing we got done. I did go ahead and get the coil for the car. Midwest Bayless had them on sale, and so I went ahead and got it, and I'm going ahead and put that on. I've got the gasket that goes here between the transmission and the engine, so that's ready to be put on. I may not do that yet. So I believe that's everything I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, we did go ahead and get the control arms. I went ahead and started on the control arms, and I've stripped those down except for the bushings, which I'll take out with the press. You can see here's all the hubs and the bearings. I had to buy a new impact wrench, something with a lot more oomph to it, a lot more torque than the one that I had. I think that one's about 1200. So in order to get everything off, but we did. I did have one of the drums that at some point I really thought I was going to have to cut it off or something, because man, it just would not come off. But I kept at it, and I used an air hammer and just kept going around it and hosing it down with the parts blaster, and eventually I saw it move. At first I thought, after a while I thought, well, this thing's got a ridge on it or something, it's just not going to come off, it's not going to go over it. But then I saw it move a little bit, and so I just kept at it, and I guess it took about an hour of using the air hammer, and eventually it just broke free and came off. So I don't know if I'll reuse these drums. They technically, the car only has like 72,000 miles on them, so they should be all right, but I'll take them up to the brake shop and have them turned and checked that they're not in any way warped or anything, because I did have to beat on that one pretty good to get it off of there. So I don't want to take a chance on that. I may just go ahead and buy new ones, but we'll see. That's where we are. We're going to clean these control arms up and get them painted, and then we'll do the bushings and all that on them and get new bearings. I've already bought the bearings and everything for the hubs. So, and then we'll be ready to put the start on the rear end, putting the rear end together. The only thing with the rear end is I'll have to put the fuel tank in first, and I don't want to fight up under there. It'd be a lot easier. I just put this piece of wood in here to block it out so that you guys could get a good look at it. So anyway, that's where we are. We're making good progress. I'm kind of tickled. I wish the weather's turning, it's getting colder now and cooler, so I don't expect to be able to do any kind of serious painting or anything like that for a while. So that'll probably be later, but we should have everything ready to roll here before too awful long. That's what I'm hoping. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comments are always appreciated, and like and subscribe. Don't really get any money for this, but it's nice to know that somebody is appreciating, and you can't, you know, you are picking up tips. I hope if you are going to do an 850, I can't speak for other cars, but you know, I have learned a lot about this car, to be honest. So anyway, hope that helps, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.